Okay, good morning. This is Dr. David A. Padgett. Welcome to GIS Day at Tennessee State University. Today we'll be walking through the final exam project for my students. And so we are using this as an example or demonstration of teaching GIS in a hybrid classroom environment. And so we at Tennessee State University have been teaching in this hybrid environment since the beginning of the fall semester. And so this final exam is just one example of project-based learning where we're going to work through as much of the project as we can in class, as opposed to it being a homework assignment.
I don't know why they won't deliver.
Very hands-on.
Like they'll deliver
The
if it
last
was like less pizzas, but not.
the last two units in the World Regional Geography class cover Mexico and Latin America, and then Russia and neighboring countries, the former USSR. So what we're doing here is we're taking material from each unit and combining them in this project-based learning assignment using GIS. And so what I'm going to do now is just walk through what the students will presumably do, a portion of what the students will presumably do in class or to complete their final exam project. So here's the assignment. They will first select countries based upon these various GNI PPP per person rankings. The GNI PPP per person is a measure of wealth. The data must come from the World Population Data Sheet, which is posted along with the exam here. No Googling. Now, GNI PPP. So I'm going to take a couple of sample countries just to get us into it. So here's the World Population Data Sheet. It's a very useful resource provided by the Population Reference Bureau, recognized as being a valid source of data. And so let's get a country from Latin America. So the first is, let's find a country that fits the first criteria, which is must have a GNI PPP person of $0 to $6,000 per year. So we have our first country that fits the criteria here that happens to be in Latin America and the Caribbean, and that is, looks like it's Belize. So Belize is 5,880. So this is what students will do. It's probably best to just kind of bounce back and forth between the world regions. So the next world region, of course, is somewhere in either Central Asia or somewhere within the Commonwealth of Independent States. Does Azerbaijan fit our next? No, it does not. But while we're here, I'm in a hurry today. Spelled it right on the first shot. So that, of course, fits our third category, which is from 13,000 to Azerbaijan. We'll take it here. Hurry, I'm in a hurry. Come on. Boom, boom. Okay, special, bang, boom, 0. So now we have our first category satisfied and our fourth. Now we need a country that's between $6,000 and $10,000 PPP per person. Again, the PPP per capita or GNI, PPP per person, is just a measure of a nation's wealth in dollars. It's essentially a number of dollars to go around per person. I think I see one. There is Bolivia. So Bolivia is at 8,250. Boom, boom, boom. Remember, half of these countries must be from Russia and neighboring countries, and half must be from, there's Bolivia. So that's 6,000 or 10,000 that satisfies that one. And so students, you were to do this exactly the way I'm doing it here. So now we need a country that's from $10,000 to $13,000 per person. And so this is not going to be 10,000. Try to go, and there's so many in Latin America. Let's see if I can get one. Also, it has to fit within the countries that we're studying. So don't fall outside our the realm of where we're studying. So it's either countries in chapter 4 or chapter 11. And so be very careful. Last class, we were all over the place. Let's see. None of these countries fit. Wait a minute. So we're looking for 10,000 to 13,000. That's not going to work. Let's see. Shoot. What about Georgia? Where's Georgia? Said Armenia. Armenia is 13,080. That works. It'll get easier from this point forward. And again, when you do your folder, I'm going to call it this. Oops. Working document. A working document. Boom, boom. Okay, Armenia. Boom, boom. Period 00. Azerbaijan. Okay, so now we've got 2 from Latin America and the Caribbean, 2 from this former Soviet Union. Next is 2 more. So you got boom, 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 boom. Next one has to be 20,000, 25,000. Let's see, we're already. That's the Georgia, Armenia. Those countries are in there. Let's see, Central Asia. Anybody over here over 20,000? Oh, 24. I think it's just going to make it. That's Kazakhstan. So that's a spelling bee. It's a spelling bee question there. Just paste that in there. Boom. Kazakhstan dollars. Boom. Let's see how much we're racing against the clock here. Kazakhstan, where did it go? Oh man. On. 24,380. I think it just barely fits our criteria. Boom, 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 boom. And then one more country. The country has to come from, last one has to come from Latin America and the Caribbean. Well, it has to be from 25,000 above. That might not be rude. Somebody's got to be 25,000. Nope, nope, nope. Uh-oh. Roll. Come on, somebody. South America. Argentina's not gonna work for me. Nope. Oh boy. Come on, man. Somebody's got to get there. 26, what is it? 20 Curacao, really? It's the only one? And it's in italics, which means it's questionable. Maybe Mexico. Maybe Panama. Panama and Mexico's got to get. Oh, Panama just barely. All right. So, man. So again, what I do not want to see are these exact same countries on your exam. You know that, right? Just get your own country. This is the process that you have to go through. Boom. 0. So this, I'm not doing this demonstration for you to copy directly from what I'm doing. So if I see these same countries, it's not going to be creative. Do it on your own. Okay, so now you got your 6 countries. Next, now I'm not going to get every population graph. I'm just going to get 2 just for this demonstration. I'm going to go to the CIA World Factbook. And apologize for being in such a rush here. Again, a much more thorough. All right, so let's get Uzbekistan, go to the CIA World Factbook. No, let's not get us. Let's get Armenia since it's right here. Let's get Armenia. Scroll down. People in society. Scroll down. And here is Armenia's population pyramid. Click there. We only want the image. So here's a population pyramid itself. Notice I can make a couple of comments about the population pyramid. You have a kind of constricted here. Notice this constriction here at the base means that there are less children in this population than overall. Population is possibly in decline. You probably have a low rate of natural increase. You probably have a relatively low fertility rate, perhaps. And so those are kinds of questions that you will address in your, when you fill in the text box for your graphs. You know, do you see a relationship between the population structure and the fertility rate? Do you see a relationship between the population structure and life expectancy or rate of natural increase? For life expectancy, if you have a country that has low life expectancy, then you will not see, you'll see kind of a pinching off when you get into the older age groups. So notice in Armenia, you have a pretty good amount of people up here and living into the 80s and 90s. So population structure is a very complex topic. And so when you start to analyze your population graph, you know, you really have to think about what you're writing in terms of, here's Armenia. So I'm just going to do 2 of these just as a demo. We have Armenia, and then we can go and get, let's see, what else, what other countries do we have? Let's see, we've got Belize. Let's get Belize. That's an interesting. So Belize, so we can compare one. So let's, plus it's near the top of the alphabet. Countries, Belize, B, boom, Belize, bam. Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down to people in society, boom. Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, population pyramid, boom. Now notice that this population pyramid is somewhat different, has a much different shape than the one for Armenia. Clearly, you can see that there's probably 40% of the population of Belize is comprised of children under 14 years of age. So this is indicative of a relatively high fertility rate. Remember, the fertility rate is the number of children born per woman during her primary reproductive years. And so the rate of natural increase is the percent that a country grows during each year. And I'm going to use that data in a minute. Okay, so I'm going to save this image for now. This is these graph. I'm going to save that for now. I'm going to hold that. And next, I'm going to go to another part of the assignment, which is to calculate the doubling time for each country. So why do we calculate the doubling time? The doubling time is the estimated time it will take for a population to double. And it's based upon the rate of natural increase, which you will also get from the world population data sheet. And so let's look at let's look at Belize. We have Belize here. So the rate of natural increase for Belize is 1.5%. So we take 1.5, let me just, I can just type that. So we have Belize. The rate of natural increase is 1.5% per year. And so what does that mean? Well, on the face, we say, well, Belize's population is growing at 1.5%. To most people, that's not really going to mean anything. 1.5%, what does that mean? What does that really mean? I don't know. But if we look at it in terms of doubling time, then we'll get a better idea of what it really means. So we take the number 70. This is just a math trick. Divided by the rate of natural increase, 1.5, and I'm going to cheat here. I'm going to cheat. So even though I should be able to do this in my head, I know. Whoops. About 46 years. Okay, so what does that mean? That means that in 46 years, which sounds like a long time, but really isn't a lot of time. In 46 years, Belize is going to need twice as much food, twice as much water supply, twice as much medicine, twice as much housing, twice as much as everything, all give things being equal in 46 years. I know you're sitting out there, you're 20 years old, you're thinking, wow, 46 years, that's a long time. My mom is 46 years old. That's not a long time to double a nation's resources, especially given the fact, as we saw Belize, their GNI PPP is only $5,880 per person per year. If we want to look at it in relative terms, United States GNI PPP per person is about 66,000. I think it's $66,060 per person per year. So look at that in terms of relative wealth. Do we have poverty in the United States? Certainly. Even though we have one of the highest GNI PPP per person numbers in the world, certainly well over 12 times the wealth of Belize. And that country is going to need twice as much of just about everything in 46 years. So that's why we calculate the doubling time, because it gives us a much more tangible perspective on population growth. You know, if I tell you this population is growing at 1.5%, you might not get alarmed. You think, well, that's only 1.5%. You know, you're checking your savings accounts, probably maybe you're getting 1.5%, and you're disappointed in that. You might think 1.5% isn't much of anything to be concerned about in terms of growth. But when we use this math trick to calculate the doubling time, you can see how that is could be cause for concern. So in this space, calculate doubling time for each of your countries and the year that the population is expected to double by. 2021 plus 46 equals 2067, right? So by 2067, Belize's population presumably will be twice what it is now. And so that is something that you will include in the captions on your population pyramid. Now, from this point forward, this assignment is pretty much the same, not exactly the same, it's the same as the, it's the same procedure as you went through for the climate graphs assignment. So you go to Flickr and you upload, you go through the painful process of uploading your, maybe it's not painful, maybe I'm just old. Maybe I'm just old, I don't know. Pain in the neck to me. Here, open. This is the step where I messed up. Upload 2 photos, boom, upload, okay. And now, oh, are they in my album? Armenian Belief, oh, they're already in, they're in my photo stream. I don't know if they're in my album yet. This album already? No, they are not. So I have to back to my photo stream. Okay. So I've added the, I've created a new album. And so there are the new albums, Geog 1010 AO2. So now per the instructions, I'm going to go to open up my ArcGIS Online account. Like I said, this is exactly the same as the process going forward. So here's ArcGIS Online, sign in, boom, boom. Then once you're signed in, you simply go to the StoryMaps page. Again, this is exactly the same as the last time. Copy StoryMaps. Are you logged in? Then go to create story. You want to do a map tour. Your images should be look up by your username. Select album. This is in AO2. Import, and then you just simply go through the process of navigating to a country, in this case, Belize. Now, in this case, you know, we're not focusing on a city, it's the whole country, so a little bit easier to import maps in. I like the 3-panel layout personally. I mean, it's just neater to me. And now in the in your text box, you will discuss Belize's population structure based upon some of the data that you see. So the first thing, of course, you should probably, this has to be in there somewhere. I'm going to kind of paraphrase this. This is the first thing that's easy to enter. located America, period. Paste this in here. Located in Central America. Nations, population has a rate of natural increase of %. Doubling time (46 years). So these are the kind of data that you might pull from. Obviously, that's one of the first things. Okay. Now you might mention something related to maybe the country's population overall, perhaps. But speaking in terms of what you might glean from the World Population Data Sheet, some other pertinent information might be related to its total fertility rates. The total fertility rate is the number of women born per number of children born per woman during her primary reproductive years. And so that number is also something that is related to, also just while I'm here, when you do anything to this, hit that save button. And then when you are ready to share your map, go to share and then make that map public. Make your map public. And then there's the link that you'll paste into your page. The fertility rate. So I'm going to be looking for these vocabulary words: total fertility rate, fertility rate is 2.2, which is amongst which is I'm guessing mid-range 6 elected countries. So if you find that a country is perhaps has a relatively low fertility rate. Now the United States fertility rate is about 1.9. A high fertility rate is like 5 or 6. In other words, there are some countries where the average woman has 6 children. Okay, so those are that's the type of information. So what is influencing this number? So you might go back to the Population Reference Bureau. One of the biggest influences, of course, upon fertility rates is, of course, access to contraceptives. And you can see here for Belize, well, Belize, I mean, given that only half of women in this country have access to contraceptives, let's look at something else. Now, there's another number that's usually in here. Oh, they've changed the numbers a little bit. So they have percent of all births of mothers aged 35 or older. And for Belize, that number, for the world, that average is 16%. So Belize is on the low end of that. So you have women having, so you could say, like I said, I'm rushing through this and I apologize. You could say in your text box, the women's, let's say, the population growth are impacted by women having, by, I'll just put a number in here, by half of women having access to and thus giving okay, so that of course is what we'd expect to see in your for each population graph. That meaning, you know, a description which gives rationale for your population graph having this shape. And in this case, with Belize, this population graph clearly shows a lot of children and relatively high fertility rates and rate of natural increase. If you look at the rate of natural increase for the United States, for instance, if I can find it here, North America, perfect. The rate of natural increase for the United States is 0.1%. Oops, no, is 0.1% compared to 1.5% for Belize. So you can see that now, even though the United States is obviously on the low end of the scale, still, relative to the United States, you can clearly see why a country such as Belize has a relatively high fertility rate. And it's largely in part due to women's status. Religion plays a role also. So in some countries that are dominated by Catholicism or Islam or the Islamic faith, you'll see higher fertility rates for those reasons, because those religions are very oppositional to abortion. So again, I got through the assignment basically. Again, you will paste your link to your map here, just like before. Also, you should, if I were you, I would first type my captions on, I'm doing this totally backwards. I would put my captions in here somewhere, just so that you'll have them. You know, so you might have, here's your, first one, here's one for Belize, and the next one, and so on and so forth. And of course, I gotta go. Here, link, copy, boom, and you upload and you paste that right there. Paste, boom, and then save this thing. So this recording will be available soon. I have got to get out of here. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure having you all as students this semester. Thank you to our guests. I did get through that entire assignment, even though I kind of had to rush it. I've got to do a presentation for the EPA in literally 5 minutes. And so thanks for coming. This recording will be, one more thing. I'm late. I have to do this. The recording will be on my Facebook page. Hopefully my Facebook is already logged in. Come on. Recording will, yes, recording will, I'm gonna put my Facebook page link in the chat right now. Obviously, this is for people who are our guests. We had several guests with us today for geography awareness day, but the link to this recording for those of you outside the class will be at that link on my Facebook page in the chat. Maybe today, more than likely by Friday, but I'm gonna try to get it up there today. Thank you very much. Off to my next EPA meeting. Thank you from Tennessee State University, President Dr. Glenda Glover, located here in Nashville, Tennessee. Have any high schoolers in your family who are looking for an excellent place to get an education, send them to Tennessee State University. To my students, thanks for hanging in there this semester. I know it hasn't been easy. If you have any questions about the final, please ask me questions about the final exam. I know it's not easy, and I will sign it off. Have a great rest of the GIS day, GIS, Geography Awareness.
Have a great